a little bit on the process, kind of to give people an idea about the process for the SBA loans? Since you say it's something that you're involved with somewhat,
Oh, wow.
or the
Okay, so
things you might need to
all
have in place or doing prior to applying. Maybe that's a better question. Like, what are some of the things that you should be doing or have in place prior to applying for an SBA loan?
well, one of the big things for us, I mean, we look at your you would want to have your last. I mean, everyone should have their, their taxes that they've done for the past year. So one of the things that we factor in is your history and your experience with the field that you're now going into. We take that into consideration.
Okay.
And so that's something that, it's funny how the banks will say, hey, I need you to have this, but if I don't, I want to get a loan, but you're telling me I need to show that I ran a business before doing this. So when in essence you have been doing it yourself, running a business, someone else's business, and you now want to do it for yourself. So I mean, that's one of the big key points for us. We have, it's about 20 pages to fill out, a lot of information. We want to have a lot of history on you. You have a resume that's well detailed. We will also accept that. So I mean, those are literally you're supposed to fill out all these pages, and it becomes a little bit confusing. Trust me, I went through it, going through all the pages. And then you really need to have, a lot of times you need to have several pages outlining what your business plan is, and 3 pages, 3 or 4 pages summarizing, what your game plan is. You just pretty much need to have a business plan outlined. You need to have your resume. You need to have your tax information. If you really don't have credit, when I say you don't really have credit, you just have, I know for myself, when I started get into business, you just really don't realize that this credit thing is like, oh, you never, you may not have, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure everybody here has, but some people might not have ever bought a home or actually owned a car. Actually own
Right.
the car. There's people who drive cars, but they've never owned them.
Right.
And then they go and and now they're starting something. They want to establish credit, and they really don't have anything. So you want to also, which is something that I help with as well. And and again, this is not because it has to do with me, but it's just really important. So things that you never really thought much of, because I'm not going to have a problem with credit, but you can have a problem with credit because you have none or not enough. And you rented all your life, and there's options like some companies have, and which we do offer as well, where you can build your credit by showing showing what your rentals are, what you're doing for rent, and get credit for that. And I was like, oh shoot, man, I didn't have to get anything.
Hey, Marjorie, you said credit. So when you talk about credit in this instance for the SBA, are you talking about your personal credit or your business credit, or both?
Well, normally when somebody's getting a SBA, it's usually for the first time they're getting it
Okay.
as a startup. So they will look at your personal credit as well.
Okay, so it can be either or.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
we always have to tentatively think that the bank may want to look at our personal credit, especially if we haven't been. Just bear in mind that most banks want you to be in business 2+ years. For SBA, some of them look at for 3 years, and then
Okay.
they want you to generate an income every year of 250,000 plus, if not more, and that's just the lower end aspect of it. And so when you're asking someone who's just starting out, um, you know, that they want to get SBA, these might be the challenging areas or points, because usually your first 2 years, business sucks,
Right.
because you're starting to learn the marketing aspect of it. You're trying to build a team. and you're trying to network and be able to contract and partnership with people. So we really do have to be realistic, and not everybody's going to come into a new business out the door making money hand over fist. And even people who do that, in the influx of all that they're making, they may find themselves doing something that may damage themselves or damage their credit because things are moving way too fast.
Okay.
So it's really good to make sure that you have a good partner. It's like having an attorney that you work with for anything. And I know not everybody might have an attorney that they work with, but it's really good to have someone that you can that's good in the field that you can have as a point of reference.
Right.
That is someone that you feel that you could trust, because people will tell you anything. That's the reality.
Okay. So, so you gave us a good wrap up on the SBA, and just so that I make sure, you were saying that typically, in general, for the SBAs, you need to be in business for 2+ years. Is the 250K income, was that a minimum? Were you saying for the business?
No, and again, I'm just saying generally for banks, for traditional banks, that's usually what is required.
Okay.
I walk in, and I won't call out any specific bank, but I can walk into a bank and I can say X, Y, and Z, and these are the questions. Like, when your pricing is good, right?
Right. Yes.
And what you offer. So what I do, because this is the field that I chose to go into, when I walk, I have bank accounts at different banks. So I go in and I ask, because I want to know, because I want to see, not only because I experience some of these things myself, but a bank that I go to regularly, I want to hear, tell me, what are you going to ask me? And these are the things that they require.
Okay.
And it's sad, because sometimes people who work in the banks could say, yeah, I know this person would do great if we could upfront them this money, but they have guidelines that they are required to follow.
Right. But that's kind of where you, as a small business, you look into some other options, whether it might be self-funding, group funding. I know Prosper.com is an option. There's a lot of different options. I think PayPal has some sort of small business loan. I think it's more of a line of credit, actually, programs to kind of get you to the place where you can be generating a consistent income and establish your business credit as well. So
that is correct. There's a lot of there is a lot of companies you could go to online and be able to definitely do stuff like that.
Any other tidbits or tips or information you want to share with the group, Marjorie?
All I can say is I'm available to help, and I'm not going to always be able to help everyone, because it depends on what someone wants, what each individual person wants. But just the key thing for me that I've learned better than anything from doing stuff is you gotta, and it doesn't have to be, like I said, with myself, because Shamika has highlighted different options that you can go to. But you really need to build and grow any business successfully long term is building partnerships with people that you repeatedly continue to use, and you grow with. They grow with you, and you grow with them. Sometimes you might outgrow them, but the key thing is, because, for example, there are some people who can't loan up to, like we do, up to 50 million. There's some people who only do up to 30 million. There's some people who only do up to 20. So if you've outgrown someone, it's all about the partnership. And the partnership, a lot of times, like I said, and asking the questions, because to sit there belaboring and leaving yourself every day falling back from achieving your dreams or your aspirations, it's only wasting more time on your aspect. And that has nothing just to do with the loan. It just has to do with making an action, make a step forward, and do what you need to do to set yourself up to have the best buying power that you can have, and set yourself up for us. And I see in the group all the time, you guys are asking really great questions, and so just keep doing that, and just don't ask questions. There's people, I think, I'm not saying for this group, but there are people that just ask questions and do nothing with the information. And for you to be successful and for things to happen, you must put things in motion.
Right.
So we can't just imagine it that I want to be able to do this, and days after days pass and we don't do anything with it. And interest rates are back a little bit lower now. Okay. Just imagine for everything, as everyone says, oh, interest rates are going to keep climbing. When they do climb, everything else goes up. So it's really important, if you're starting something, to react while the market is in the place that you want it to be in. That's really important.
Okay. And we just had one question come in. If you can kind of give us a quick outline, like you did, as far as what some of the typical requirements were from the SBA loan. I think I touched on it, but if you can or you can just kind of let me know what I missed. So you said the 2 years in business, you said taxes for your business, an outline business plan, resume, any established business credit or personal credit. Was there anything else that you needed? Any other additional documents that you would need to kind of start the preliminary process for the SBA loans?
Yeah, there may be some other things that may be required, but again, it depends on the conversation that you have with the person to know specifically where we're going, what we're planning, what we would like to do.
Okay.
So that's something I would say, like anything, like I just put out, general could be between 10 to 15%, 3%. So it would be good if that'll be a one-off, if someone, wants to send me what they're thinking about, but that's the main gist.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to send someone a form so they can see what the form looks like that we have, that we send in. And if they have any questions on the form, then we can take it from there, with no obligation, obviously, except if they just wanted to look and see all the outline of stuff. But like I said, it's like 20 something pages, and it just goes through everything.
So it's just pages of information. So it's not necessarily that you're having to do something on every page. It's just kind of what many government agencies do. It's just pages of information. You may not have to do something on every single page.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's pretty much, yeah. But like if someone wants to, like I said, email me or send me a message through Facebook or whichever, and I'll be glad to send them over a form and they can take a look at it and see how that works for them. Okay. Just bear in mind that that's a much longer process, and you are paying out. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And if you're just starting out, sometimes just to get into the gate, the payroll financing process is actually a good means to start something off. It's not the be and all for everything. And SBA doesn't work sometimes for what people need. But just know that you have these options.
Okay. Well, Marjorie, thank you so much for taking out the time to talk to us. Like I mentioned, I'm going to put all her information on this Facebook Live at the bottom in the comments. And she's also a part of the group. So if you wanted to message her or ask additional questions, you can reach out to her directly as well. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
You